should I tell my partner about my fantasies? Should I tell my partners about my fantasies? Should you continue fantasizing about telling your partner about your fantasies? Hi, this is Martha. I'm a clinical sexologist with a doctorate in human sexuality. Our fantasies is our private world of imagination. And when we were young, we would fantasize about being this and that, being a policeman, being a nurse. We were engaging in role play, and that was all okay. All of a sudden, when we become adults, it's suddenly not okay to fantasize. And removing our fantasy world stops us from being creative and having an imagination. Just because we fantasize about something, it does not necessarily mean that there's something wrong with our lives, with our partner, or with our sex lives. It doesn't mean that. It means that there are desires that we have. And these desires may be things that we want to explore and actually do, and they may also be things that we don't want to do and we just want to have space to perhaps be able to talk about it and laugh about it. So talking about your desires doesn't necessarily mean that you must act upon it. Telling your partner about your desires doesn't necessarily mean that. But some people can take it the wrong way. So I'm not in your relationship. I cannot tell you what to do. All I can say is that if you do want to tell your partner about your fantasies for the purpose of being open and vulnerable with your partner, then say that. Say that. Have a little disclaimer before you tell your partner that. You could say something along the lines of, I want to share with you a fantasy that I have. I don't want you to think that I want to act upon it necessarily. I may, I don't know, but I haven't decided. Would you be willing to listen while I share this private fantasy that I've always had but haven't been able to tell anybody? In most cases, your partner will be interested to hear because your partner wants to be close to you. And from there, you can actually say, have a discussion of whether you want to act upon it and how you can act upon it. And that can be really fun. And one of the things that you want to know is sometimes our fantasies cannot be realized. For instance, if you want to have sex with a unicorn, even if your partner dresses up as a unicorn, it's not going to be quite the same thing. Sometimes you may want to have a very specific body type and your partner is not. It's just not going to happen. But you can be creative and have some creative license and just play with it. It's also possible. And so you might not be able to fulfill these fantasies. And it is also okay. Just because you have those fantasies, it doesn't mean that you're going to lose your self-control and think about these fantasies and then just go all crazy and be out of control. A lot of us do have self-control, and our prefrontal cortex isn't really completely formed when we're still in puberty. But as we get older, we don't exercise that prefrontal cortex, and therefore we don't realize how much discipline we have. Discipline, just like anything, is a muscle that we need to practice and assert. And so we become confident in who we are. So talking about your fantasies doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person because you have fantasies. And you need to feel safe in order to feel that you can share this with someone. If you feel uncomfortable sharing with a partner, you may want to share it with a trusted friend instead. And being human, they may have certain reactions that may make you feel really bad about yourself. So this is a time that you want to ask yourself, should I be talking to someone who actually is more sex positive, somebody who's more trained? And this is when you may want to seek out the support if needed. So this is Martha of Eros Coaching, and I hope this video has been useful to you in normalizing the fact that we fantasize and it is normal. And if you have more questions, do ask me. I'm at ask@eroscoaching.com.